Howdy, folks. Time for some more AI music talk. I know lots of folks are talking about it. It's a topic I'm passionate about. I've been diving into AI tools. A lot of folks are talking about it. This is not a clickbait chase. This is just something I really care about. It definitely impacts the TV sync music. But there's a lot of hot sports opinions out there, people talking about it. And I wanted to address 5 specific objections or concerns about AI music tools today. Now, perspectives are going to be different if you're an artist versus a composer or an artisan, we should say. If you're an artist, you're trying to be discovered and found, and there's that perspective. And then there's the business side, folks in the TV sync business that are making money doing this or want to make money doing this. I have a full-time day job. I still, make thousands of dollars per year with sync music, but it's certainly not anything I can live on right now. And I think I'm similar to the majority of folks that are writing music for television and film. I think there's a very small percentage that do this for a living. They are blessed, lucky, and fortunate, hardworking people that make their entire living based on music income. Now, there are very few, in my opinion, that make their entire living based just on sync. On TV music, most of the folks that are making a living on music have other ventures. They have music businesses, they teach lessons, they teach at university, etc. So the number of people making money full-time just on sync and stock, is a very, very small number. Of course, there are plenty of folks that are making 6 figures and some making 7 figures a year. You're doing this, and God bless them, and that's my dream, and I want that, and maybe someday it'll happen. But most of the folks out there making music for TV today, it's just a side income thing. It's mailbox money. It's fun to, purchase, fund their guitar purchase habit, or in my case, my bourbon purchase habit. There's different perspectives based on if you're an artist or a composer, a casual musician versus a career musician. Are you a casual composer? Are you just like, hey, I'll write a song this month and we'll see if a library takes it. Maybe it'll get placed. And maybe a year and a half from now, when it gets placed and you get paid $40, you'll see that this is a difficult business, unless you're doing it just for the coolness of hearing your own music on TV. And there's a great rush, and lots of folks do that, and that's totally fine. If that's the case, I don't really think you should be complaining a whole lot about AI, because you're not that serious about it. To begin with, you're doing it for fun. So don't complain if you're concerned about fun. But if you are generating sync music, underscores, dramedy, drones, classical music, jazz, action, drama, whatever, these tools are going to get better. Obviously, the stuff made today, you can still tell it's artificially generated. And today, we don't have the ability to receive MIDI from AI tools or individual stems. Right now, the tools don't let you go back and make changes to the existing work, as far as I've seen. You have to start from scratch again. So these are features that will certainly pop up in the next year or so. We'll have a conversation, this time next year and see where the state of the tools is then. But let me get to the 5 things, the 5 objections, the 5 comments, knee-jerks about AI-generated music, and kind of address them. So before I do people really care for the most part? If you're not a creative, if you're just John Q. Public, Joe and Sally Sixpack out there, do you care how the music was generated? Rick Beato was interviewed recently, I saw a couple days ago, and he said, I'm going to quote, people won't care if it's AI if they like the song. He's exactly right. People just don't care. At the end of the day, whether or not someone likes the song has zero to do with how the song was created, often has zero to do with the musical quality of the song, it has almost everything to do with the memories associated with that song. Jack and Diane, John Cougar Mellencamp, song from the 80s. My best friend, Ron, rest in peace, brother. That song brought him back to summer camp with his friends and his first kiss. There's music I hear, I think of my dad right away, or my grandparents. Charlie Brown Christmas takes me back to Christmas time as a young kid. I love that feeling. Maybe there's negative things. I was in a really bad car accident when I was 15. My girlfriend was 16. She was driving. We got T-boned, really bad crash, broke lots of windows, smashed my face. Ended up not able to play the saxophone for all New England auditions that weekend. It was a Wednesday when it happened, or Tuesday night, I should say. But all the crashing, the car teamboat us in the fog, car sliding, crunching metal, broken glass, screams, all this crap. And when the car stopped and we got out of the vehicle, The lights were still on and the radio was still on. And the song that was playing was Jay Giles, My Playmate is a Centerfold. And that song, to this day, whenever I hear it, bam, I hear that crashing glass, crunchy metal. I feel my lips swollen, the cuts in my face, etc. So I associate that song with a specific memory. Now, people don't care about the chord progression. They don't care about the grooving bass line. They don't care about the interplay between the guitar and the bass, or the bass player and the drummer using his kick drum when the bass player's hands are in certain places. And they don't care. People listen to music because they want to escape or they want to go somewhere. They don't care how it was made. So most folks in the audience, folks that buy our music or no longer buy it, everything's free, it seems, $10, $12 a month streaming service. There's no way people are going to get compensated properly for that, but that's a separate topic. But I guess music doesn't have to be good to be popular. The Beatles said it.
How highly would you rate your own music?
Well, we're not very good musicians, and we never claim to be very good musicians. We're adequate, but not very good.
Well, what's the reason, do you think, for the tremendous popularity? Is it because people admire your talent, or...?
Well, I don't know, maybe they admire adequate music.
Maybe they admire adequate music. I think that's a very, very true statement. So at the end of the day, the quality of the music, to the general music populace, the music consuming, music buying public, doesn't matter. I look at some of my early placements from 6-7 years ago. I'm like, my God, that music was horrible, but it got placed. Got placed on major networks. Got $300, $500 a pop. For that stupid, horrible dance music that was placed in a scene it shouldn't have been in, and it sounded like crap then. It sounds like crap today. I got lucky it got placed, but it didn't matter. This music editor thought it fit, and that's all that matters. As far as my goal of making money from that music. So let's take a look at some of the objections, the complaints, the concerns I'm hearing these days. Number one, does AI devalue music? I talked to Jesse at Seek by Music a while ago. Don't think that video is out yet, but we had a great conversation. And one of his main sticking points in the value of music and the legal perspectives is that most of the issues of whether or not something is going to be challenged in court, the most significant or likely claim is that AI tools devalue music. And I tend to disagree with that. And, I was doing some research. I used to say that every day, 80,000 new tracks are uploaded to streaming services. I did some quick research, and that's actually not true. The number now is 120,000 tracks per day, according to Music Business Worldwide. 120,000 tracks a day breaks down to about 5,000 an hour, 83 tracks a minute, or about a track every 1.5 seconds. So every 2 seconds, 3 new tracks. 1, 2, and 3. Boom, 3 songs just got uploaded. I guess we got to figure, how do we define the value of music? And again, it depends on your goals. If your goal is to be heard on music, and you can say, yep, that's mine, I did that, don't care how much I made, AI is not going to devalue that. It's a matter of whether your music gets chosen or not, and it has nothing to do with AI. If you're concerned about the finances of it, how much money you're going to make from it, again, does it set a mood? Does it attract someone's attention? That's the important thing. Does the music editor want to use your stuff? Now, with 120,000 tracks going out there every day right now, does it matter if it's 1.2 million or 120 million tracks a day? How do you get discovered? So as an artist, there could be some concerns. There's so much stuff being pumped out, and I'm sure we'll get to the point where Spotify and iTunes, etc., Amazon Music, they're going to start just doing auto-gen. Is the value financial? Is the value emotional? Are you talking about the sentimental value of that song? From a financial perspective, you're trying to make money writing, the industry has never been more competitive. The bar has never been higher to get good music, to get good placements. I mean, if you want to write trailers, the bar is super high. The quality of compositions is high. The quality of music libraries is high as far as VSTs, strings and brass, etc., percussion. Did string libraries and brass libraries devalue classical music? No. It opened up a world for musicians they couldn't afford to get an orchestra to create music and put it up there. But did DAWs, sample libraries, MIDI chord packs, have they drastically lowered the musical intelligence needed to make music? Abso-freaking-lutely. dragging a chord MIDI pack into someplace and putting a loop there and dragging dots around piano scroll mode? Are you a composer? Are you devaluing the creation of music? Maybe. But you're making music and getting paid, hopefully. Anyone with a modest amount of initiative can create music. Whether or not it's any good, that's a different story. I've seen lots of folks interested in entering the TV sync music world, and many of them lack the perspective or the understanding of the business. It's fickle, it's subjective, it's competitive, it's slow, it's often unfair. But does lowering the barriers to entry automatically give everyone a music trophy? We got DAWs, samples, MIDI packs, loops. Now we got AI. Can you still generate something of quality and get it accepted? It's going to take a good ear to identify what's good. And a lot of what gets placed has nothing to do with the quality. It could be a banging tune, great solo, great strings, great arrangement. What mood does that music create? That's how music gets placed. And how the music was created, again, doesn't matter. Do you have a relationship with the person at the library that's pushing your music? Do you have a relationship with the music editor? That's what we depend on our music libraries for, is the relationships they have with studios and editors, etc. AI can't replace relationships. Okay, but getting back to devaluing, I think we got to get off that topic because, this Jack Black playing the saxophone on the Tonight Show, is that devaluing music? Is it devaluing saxophone players? Well, he's not claiming to be a saxophone player, but he's literally holding a plastic button on a plastic saxophone and holding on a loop and then playing a second loop and dancing around and looking like an idiot, taking himself way too serious. He's entertaining folks. The crowd freaking loved it. He's literally holding down buttons as a loop plays. Does that devalue music? It annoyed me a bit, but I knew that he wasn't trying to replace saxophones. He was playing a crappy baritone sax loop, and it was stupid, and yet the crowd was all head bobbing and happy, but that's how it is at time. But back to financial value. Trying to break into a revenue-generating music job is very, very difficult. Trying to get discovered as an artist is even harder and depends on a lot more than just the music. But focusing only on the music, how can you expect to stand out in today's streaming world? People worry about AI tools generating an unlimited supply of music and then throwing it out at the world. But people have to do that. AI is not doing it. People have to do that. Someone has to tell an AI tool, generate 100 tunes. And that feature is not there yet. They have to do it all the time. They have to click, they have to wait, they have to listen, they have to try it again. So people are still the ones responsible for generating this music. AI tools are just tools. If a drunk driver crashes into a person and kills them, it's not the car's fault, it's the driver's fault. I think people are worried about AI saturating the market. 120,000 tracks a day, the market's saturated. Try making beats and selling beats. It has nothing to do with the talent of your beat, the quality of your beat. It has a lot to do with the luck, the timing, who you know, and the timing and the luck. And I mentioned the luck. The market is saturated. This is the wrong time to be getting into sync music, at least for revenue generation. If you want to create music for fun, God bless you, do it, because that's the true joy of music. Creating. And what AI kind of does is when you play with these tools, grab a drink, grab a couple of friends, put some funny prompts in, generate some music, get a good laugh. Now, this is harmless, of course. They're not trying to generate these tracks to replace me or you. They're just cranking out, having fun online with the latest, greatest, funniest little internet tool. Another thing I've heard is that AI takes the art of creating music away. No, it doesn't. No, people that care about music and care about creating or want to create music, they will do what it takes to learn how to create music, whether it's learning the violin or the piano or the drums, the guitar, or learning how to use their DAW and how to record MIDI, how to record audio into the computer, and how to add effects, and learn about musical form and song form and lyrics and all that fun stuff. AI is just a tool. Who would change their behavior because a new tool exists? If you think you're going to stop creating music because, AI exists, maybe music's not that important to you in the first place, and you probably shouldn't be all puffing out your chest and upset about AI. If you're weak enough, if you're shallow enough to say, I'm going to quit music because another tool can do it, that's just silly. I can't comprehend that. I think it's silly. It's a lack of self-esteem. It's shallow. Don't think that you should stop making music because other ones can. I mean, the same concept. Why would you make music if there's thousands or millions of classically and educated musicians that can really crank it out and do stuff. The music world is very, very competitive. Very, very few jobs out there for live musicians. It's very tough to get a gig. So do you not learn music because there's lots of great musicians out there? No. AI has the same thing. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter that AI exists. You should create music for the reasons you want to, for the joy of it, for doing something with others, for sharing your outputs with others, etc. Don't stop doing music just because AI exists. Let's talk about people being fooled by AI copies. People will be fooled by music. Fact check. Most folks out there are not trained, skilled musicians. They like music of varying levels, of varying quality for varying reasons. If the music is light because of the video that was around the video more than the music. I was around when MTV came out. And first, the videos existed to support the music. And then I saw over the years that, man, they spent a lot more money on the video and the story of the video than they did the music itself. And crap songs became really popular because the video was really, really good. I mean, Aha, Take On Me. Is that really a great song? Or does it bring you back to that hand-drawn, very high-quality, cool video from the 80s? It's not just about the music. There's other things that make people like music that are not musical. But these days, I mean, most listeners out there, again, it's math, can't even identify the musicians in a song. They might recognize, oh, that's a guitar, or that's a horn of some kind, but they may say it's a trombone when it's a saxophone. They have no clue for the most part. But artists, musicians need people that love music regardless of their knowledge or skill set. We play for crowds. A lot of us play for the crowd reaction. We want to make folks happy. We want the hype. We want the rush. A lot of us want to generate those emotions and make that scene better in the movie or the TV show. So if you're thinking about entering the music business and you're concerned about people being fooled by AI copies, it doesn't matter. Go create something. Go to Suno. Go to Udio. Play it back with your eyes closed and say, will this work under a scene? And the answer most likely is going to be yes. And if AI is good enough to replace you, that might be a problem. But after all the hype and emotions settled in the next year or so, at the end of the day, the almighty dollar is going to win. And editors won't care about how the music was created because they've got deadlines. So right now, AI music is tough. It's popular. People are stomping their feet saying, we will not accept AI-generated music. That's going to change. The mighty dollar is going to change that because folks have deadlines. They've got budgets. I can see a day where music libraries will have a section for AI-generated music versus human music. Now, we get the legal situation of can you be compensated for AI-generated music? Right now, the answer is no. I think you should be, because you're prompting the tool to create something, and then you're tweaking the prompt and creating tweaking it and getting new generations. So the tool is not creating music on its own. A human is telling the tool what to do, and prompt logic is very, very important for the quality of the output. So, like courts in most cases when it comes to music, they're clueless. Ask Katy Perry, ask Ed Sheeran. But unfortunately, the law sticks until things get challenged. If you get sued for copyright or something, we're constitutionally, guaranteed a right to a jury of our peers in the United States. But in my brain, that means a jury of musicians, not a jury of the common men that don't know a damn thing about music. AI can't create profound or meaningful music. How do you define profound? What matters is whether or not someone likes it. And what people like is entirely personal, entirely subjective. So how do you define profound? Is it about the emotions and how the music makes you feel? Or is it about the chord progression and how it's designed and factoring the shape of the string lines and the counterpoint? Is it the sound of the snare drum or the interplay between the bass player and the drummer? Most people just don't care. Like Rick Beato said, people won't care if it's AI if they like the song. So profound actually literally means showing great knowledge or understanding, or having intellectual depth and insight. How does this apply to music? It's feelings. How does the music make you feel? So if the music sounds emotional, if it generates a mood, if it gives you goosebumps, if it makes you mad, if it adds to a scene, does it matter how it's made? No. So, again, AI can't create profound music or meaningful music. bruh, AI creates all this, soulless, mundane audio tripe. My response would be, bruh, turn on Sirius XM, turn on the radio, go to YouTube. There's a lot of crap, soulless, useless tripe out there created by millions of humans. Okay, so it matters, does the music do the job? And we get back into that TV sync thing versus artists. Artists got to be felt and they got to be respected and loved. Love me. And so they're going to be, dig their heels in the ground, keep close to the chest and say, I am playing amazing guitar. AI will never do that. And to a certain extent, you're right. There will always be the desire for people to see other people create music. No one is ever saying that AI is going to replace live concerts or live musicians. That's a separate conversation. Folks that go to that conclusion, they make that leap, they're just kind of getting distracted. The real impact of AI music generation really is on the folks in the business creating music for money from a utilitarian sync TV perspective. Artists are going to make their money if they get discovered. 120,000 new tracks a day makes it harder, but I'm sure that Taylor Swift and Drake and Billie Eilish are all just fine because they got famous because of the quality of the music and a lot of other things. But the very, very, very upper crust is not the layer we're worrying about. It's the common musician that's trying to make a living at this. And it's really, really a difficult industry to make a living at. It's always been hard to be a musician. There's a reason that the starving musician, the starving artist concept exists and has for centuries. Because generally people enjoy the output of creatives, but they generally don't want to pay us a good enough value to make it truly wonderful so that musicians can just create and focus on that stuff and not worry about things like paying the bills or health insurance and things of that sort. So that being said, it was kind of a long diatribe tonight, but I wanted to address those issues, those questions, those objections that came up about AI generated music. That being said, thanks for watching. Now go make something great.